G'day and welcome to the Slice for AFLPLAY. I am Rog.
And I'm Starr.
And as always, this one is for the playmakers. For anyone who's ever picked up the footy or enjoyed the game from the sidelines, we'll be serving you a slice of play every week right here on the Slice. Starr, how you going?
I am going great. And I'm sorry, I don't know if you can tell, but we look amazing today.
We do. If you're a bit confused watching at home, we haven't just come from a funeral. These are happy kids. These are excited kids. We are talking Brownlow, baby.
Okay, let's talk about Brownlow, because is it Brownlow, like the Brownlows, the Oscars, the Emmys?
No, I found this quite funny. Producer Fenella was harping on about the Brownlows. I had no idea what we were talking about. It's not the Brownlows. There is not multiple awards given away. It is the one Brownlow. It is the single most prestigious award in the whole footballing landscape, and it is the Brownlow medal.
So do I have a chance of winning?
You don't have a chance of winning. It's not like you put in an entry in 25 words or less, you mention why you think you should win, and then there's a panel that judges it. No, it goes to the best player in the league, and how they do the voting is at the end of every game, it's the umpires who vote on it, which is a little bit controversial. Some people think it should be like a panel of experts, but long ago, 100 or so years ago, they decided that the umpires were the most unbiased people to make the decision, the most neutral. And they award 6 votes. So 1 vote to the third best player in the ground, 2 votes to the second best player, and 3 votes to the best player on the ground. Ooh. And then whoever gets the most votes after the 23 rounds of football, or 24 this year actually, wins the Brownlow medal.
That is amazing, and I am so excited to be a part of it. I haven't been this excited since like the Year 5 swimming carnival when I came last in breaststroke.
Did you also wear like a sort of deluxe sort of gourmet outfit to your Year 5 swimming carnival? Because I don't think I was rocking a Peter Jackson suit either.
Look, I think I was definitely rocking like a bit of a few streamers in my hair, wearing blue clothes because, you know, Melody represent, that was my house. I was also house captain, by the way.
Were you? I'm not surprised at all. I ran for school captain, didn't get it. Ran for house captain, didn't get it. And then right at the end, like when all the badges were handed out, they went, oh, we haven't got a music captain yet. And I don't know the first thing about music, and this is only like the 3rd year they brought it in. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll be the music captain. Just so I got to walk around with a badge on.
Oh, is that like how, so they made up a music captain just for you? They're like, oh, look, Rog, you gave it a good go.
Yeah. You had 3 bites of the cherry if you think you deserve something. But I didn't know the first thing about music. I still don't, but it's that's something on my resume that still sits right at the top. The music captain of grade 6 Templestowe Heights Primary.
Did you do a speech to go for captain?
It was literally no one wanted to be the music captain, and they asked the question and everyone sort of looked around, and I was like, here's my chance. And I got a free ride to the promised land. All of a sudden I'm in the leadership group.
But I feel like it's such a quintessential Aussie primary school thing to start a speech with, good morning, Miss Riley, parents and teachers and students.
And then promise to, like, when you are saying why you should be the school captain, promise you're going to have a swimming pool. Promise you're going to get a new slide.
No uniforms.
AFL players are going to come in every week to take PE classes.
Also fizzy drink in the bubbler.
Yeah, wouldn't that be sensational? We are looking the part, Star. We are dressed for the occasion. So consider this your Brownlow Hype Up episode. Of course, this is out on the Wednesday, and the Brownlow is happening on Monday. It's all starting to heat up. The grand final's only a week or so away, but we'll get through the Brownlow medal first. And a bit of exciting news for you, Star.
Yes.
I may have gone to the Brownlow medal last year and just been lingering out the front doing some interviews for the Ball Magnets app. But this year, I'll actually be at the Brownlow hosting interviews for Channel 7 on the red carpet.
Right.
So exciting. Cannot wait to get into that with you a little bit later on. But before we talk all things Brownlow medal, what we'll be wearing, what we'll be saying, what we'll be doing, who will be winning, let's get into our 6-pointer and our 1-pointer.
Wow, you are a professional. That was an amazing segue.
Thank you. I'd hope so. Otherwise, I'd be in a little bit of strife with Channel 7 in front of millions of people.
That was pretty much your practice run.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, a certified slay. Okay, should I start with my 6-point or my 1-point?
I think we've been through this, Star. You shouldn't have to ask anymore. Why would I, after 7 episodes, now I change my mind and decide, you know what? Start with your 6-pointer first. We start with the bad news, bring us up with the good news.
Oh, you know, you're just a television professional now, so I'm trying to just be on your level. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 1-pointer, please.
My 1 pointer for this week, and in case you're new here, our 1 pointers are our lowlights of the week. Rog, are you much of a Harry Potter fan?
I cop a lot of backlash for this. I've never once, and it's not by choice. It's not like I'm anti any of these movies, but I've never once watched a second of Harry Potter, Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings. So
really,
all three of them. I'm not a movie man. I'm not a TV show man.
Just footy.
Basically, all I consume is football, and I'm not really that productive in my spare time outside. So, and I don't know what I consume, but it must just be football.
So if you had a date night with a
big if
with a new gorgeous gal, you would be watching footy.
Well, this is a common issue in my life. As we've heard before, I actually took the last date to the football, and that's when she put a line through me because she thought I was going a little bit over the top in my celebrations and care factor for the game and not enough attention on her. So yes, basically. But is that if you're I was about to say if you are a girl, but you are a girl.
Yes,
if you went on a date and with a lad and he put the footy on, don't you think that might be a little bit more intimate, getting to know him and what he loves, as opposed to Harry Potter, which everyone watches?
Okay, now you're just stealing my lines from our first episode because that's not the nice things that I said to you.
That's called learning. I'm taking your advice on board.
Growth. Okay, the reason I bring up Harry Potter is because my boyfriend has never seen Harry Potter.
Good man.
Rainsy,
hail or shine.
I don't know what he's done to avoid watching Harry Potter.
Yeah.
In his entire 20-something years of living. But we have recently gotten into a bit of a Harry Potter marathon.
Ooh,
but here's the thing. He didn't want to start from the Philosopher's Stone. He didn't want to start from the first one. He thought, I don't want to watch the first one. Let's go from the second.
Well, does it hold up? Like, do you watch them now and think, oh, gee, this is a good movie? Or do you think it's from like the 70s?
No. It's good. And it's been really crazy because it's essentially like over a decade worth of film in like the Harry Potter series, right?
You can't skip a movie, can you?
Yeah, this is the thing though, because we didn't watch the first one and then every movie he'd be like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? I'm like, well, if you watched the first one, then you would know.
Can you even call it a marathon if you're skipping the first movie? It's like, oh, I just ran the Melbourne Marathon, but I skipped the first 6Ks. I joined in at the 10K mark.
Actually, that's our kind of marathon. Actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my 1 point is that he really annoyed me because he didn't want to watch the first one.
Yeah.
So we've gone through the 7 other movies, and there's some really key things that happened in the first one. Like we're going to Gringotts Bank in the 7th movie, and Matt Rains is like, "Wait, what's Gringotts Bank?" I'm like, you would know this if you just followed the system and did it properly.
Was there much fight back when Rainsy announced that he doesn't want to watch The Philosopher's Stone? Were you adamant that you should, or did you roll over pretty quickly?
I was like, I just want to watch Harry Potter. I think I didn't realize how much of a fan I was until I got back into it and I was watching it. And I was like, wow, I actually know a lot about this. But now we've finished all of the films. So we finished. And the thing with Harry Potter is that the films get progressively more traumatizing as you get through. Because it's like at the start, it's like light and fluffy and fun. Like, ooh, silly little witches and wizards. And at the end, it's like everyone dies.
Yeah.
So that's
Does
been
Hermione
interesting.
die?
No spoilers.
Okay.
You're going to have to watch it yourself, mate.
Oh.
If you've got to spare 28 hours to watch all of the Harry Potter movies.
I don't.
So it's been really interesting to kind of go through that journey again and have to relive all of the trauma of like all your fave characters. But then we finished the last movie and we're like, oh, should we go back and watch number 1? So then we went back and watched number 1.
Funny order.
So finally.
Funny order
it's
to
like
do it.
choose your own adventure, but Harry Potter in like a weird way. So that's my 1 pointer.
And your 6 pointer.
My 6 point for this week is that I have started my running era.
Really?
I know that you dabble in a bit of running here and there. You
I
have
don't.
mentioned it on a few episodes, or you give it a red hot crack,
I
which is the
try,
most
I
important
try.
thing. So I've started a 5K running program.
Wow.
So it's called Couch to 5K. So literally it gets you from the couch to running 5K. So it's about 3 or 4 run days a week, which has been really fun. And I've just been out there doing my thing.
How good do you feel after a run? You get home, you have the shower, and you just feel like $1 million.
Yeah, look, I hate to report it, guys, but the exercise really does work. So
Did
we'll have to
you,
continue doing it.
Did you go for a run this morning?
I did, yes. And it was week 4 of my program. So I actually run for the longest intervals I've ever done so far.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm pretty cool.
My 1 pointer and my 6 pointer stuff.
Let's go.
Obviously, we'll start off with the 1 pointer.
Obviously, because some of us don't listen, me.
I tell you what, no one loves brekkie more than me, but cafes have been doing my head in these past few weeks.
Why?
It's actually been doing my head in for a long while. This is a nationwide pandemic, right? And I'm not talking about COVID either. There is an issue with my breakfast where you get a big breakfast or you get scrambled eggs or just anything that requires a product of food sitting on top of a piece of bread.
Yes.
Toast.
Thank you for I was like, whoa, where are we going with this? Okay, bread equals toast equals egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the scrambled egg on top of the toast, which ideally would be boiled eggs if they, as we all know, as per last week, boiled eggs are the best egg there is, but they should serve them in cafes. They don't. Anyway, that's not my gripe this week. My gripe is that when it comes out, they have the eggs on top of the bread and the butter on the side. So what you have to do is scrape the eggs off, butter your own toast, then put the eggs back on.
Is there too much admin involved?
Surely the system should be, what would you like today, sir, you handsome Filipino man? I would love scrambled eggs on toast, please. Oh, fantastic choice. Would you like butter on your toast? Yes, please. And then it comes out buttered with the eggs on top. Or keep the eggs on the side, bring the bread out, unbuttered, and I can butter it myself. But why put it on top so I have to scrape it off, butter, put it back on?
I feel this is one of my many passions in life, actually, is scrambled eggs. And it really grinds my gears as well because when the eggs are on top of the toast goes soggy.
Correct.
So then you're trying to butter wet, soggy toast.
I know.
And it's just not a vibe.
Frustrating. So cafes, you're on notice. The boiled eggs is more of a personal thing that I recommend you should put boiled eggs in because they are the forgotten egg. I have not yet met a single person who goes, I am really, really happy that my bread is unbuttered and the eggs are on top. So you're on notice. But as for my 6-pointer, I've actually got 2 this week.
Oh, are we allowed to bring 2 now?
You're allowed to bring 2.
So is that a 12-pointer?
It's a 12-pointer. Not that it's a super goal. So I had a 6-pointer set in stone, and then one has come from the clouds. It's come from absolutely nowhere that I just had to share with you.
Yes.
The first 6-pointer is that, as you may have read in the papers or watched on the news, I retired from Banyule Bears Division 2 Reserves football at the start of the year.
Yeah, headline of the
No
week.
longer playing. It was a big deal around the country. But I do miss the club, and unfortunately, because I've been so busy, I haven't been able to get down and support the boys. And I've played there for like 20 years, so to go from every winter, you're there 3 times a week to just cutting it off, basically, it's a bit sad and it's a bit foreign feeling. I only went to 1 game during the year, but it is finals now, and the Banyule Bears, the 2s, they're in finals. So I thought I have to clear my schedule and I have to go. So I went down, walked in, and it was like, what have I been missing out on this whole time? It was like the biggest family. There was from the 70-year-old canteen ladies all the way down to the sons of the coaches and the assistant coaches coming over and just shaking hands. They're going, Rog, where have you been, mate? Are you coming back to play next year? And I was like, oh, this is the community that we love.
Aww.
It's one giant family. Everyone's so happy to see everyone, and I just couldn't have felt more at home.
Are there a lot of people who've been a part of the club for years and years?
100%. There are people that are part of the furniture, and that's probably what's saddest for me is that I was one of those people that was part of the furniture. I was someone that you could rely on. I could time keep for another, the ones if they needed a timekeeper. It was, I was helping Brucey, who was a legend of the club, set up the goalpost and all that sort of stuff. Love helping the club out. This year it's been a bit hard, but next year you can guarantee I'll be back around the club a lot more after how nice the weekend was. Was sensational. But the other 6-pointer that's come from the clouds. You will remember last week I told you the story about how I went into the club, the most beautiful girl I've seen, locked eyes with me, best moment ever. I went over, led to a kiss, but she left and gave me her Instagram on the way out. I fell in love. I was on the way home forecasting our kids and the rest of our lives together. And then I messaged her the next day to no reply. No bueno. Could not believe it. I thought I was certain I was on. I was off.
Can we just clarify again? How many times did you message her even though she left you on scene?
I may have gone the double message. I may have gone the double barrel. I may have gone the repeat offence. But that's okay. You live, you learn. Got no reply. Anyway, we obviously topped that little clip up about my pathetic excuse of a dating life, and we put it on TikTok and on Insta.
Did she see it?
She saw it. She saw the reel and she messaged and she goes, ha, 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 this is so funny, so sorry, all the rest of it. Absolutely love the story. Hey, I'm actually in Sydney at the moment, but when I'm back in Melbourne, let's go for a drink.
Rog, yes.
The podcast finally coming up, Trumps.
Oh, so
I knew it'd come in handy.
Here at The Slice, we are making big moves.
How good is that?
So, Rog, this episode is all about the Brownlow medal, and I feel like I'm kind of across it, but I think I need a little bit more info on kind of what to expect from this evening.
Well, this is one of the great bits about the Brownlow medal is that it's not just about the footballers. It's not just about the medal. It's largely about the red carpet, the wives and girlfriends that come along. They're dressed in the most unbelievable dresses, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be honest. I don't know what they're wearing, but they're dressed in the most unbelievable kits you've ever seen, and it's as much about the fashion as it is the sport itself, which is one of the main reasons I love, Melbourne as a city, is because I feel like fashion bleeds into sport, bleeds into food, bleeds into it all. So they do the red carpet, interview all the beautiful wives and girlfriends in their unbelievable kits, and the lads dressed up in the suits, they're looking $1 million, the best they'll ever look in their lives. Then they all sit down around the table. Gillan McLaughlin, the chief of the AFL, gets up there, and he does the vote count. And there's a rhythm to the Brownlow that is quite famous. The way he reads it out, and he's very serious and almost monotone, but it's like at the start it'll just be one vote, P. Cripps.
So they read out the votes live?
For every game, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you watch the count as it goes, and it gets so dramatic. It's like 1 vote, P. Cripps, 2 votes, T. Boak, 3 votes, C. Curnow. But then when it gets to the end, and it's like everyone's like, there are 3 standout players on like a similar amount of votes, and it gets all dramatic. It's like theatre. It's like, so say Patrick Cripps, my favourite player. He's in line. He's a chance of winning the Brownlow. He was about first. Gillan McLaughlin will get there. P. Dow. And it wasn't Cripps. And I was like, oh, no.
Wait, so how long does this vote counting process take?
Goes for probably, I don't know, an hour and a couple hours, maybe hour and a half, couple hours, but it's enthralling. Like you are hanging off the edge of your seat. And then when the winner's finally announced, it's a great moment, gets up, does his speech, and it's the highest individual honour in football, and it's the night of, they call it the night of nights.
Yeah.
It is as good as it gets in the landscape of Australian rules football.
So you've already noted your favourite player, but let's talk predictions for the night. Now, I probably am not in a position to make predictions about the players. However, I have dabbled in a few red carpets myself.
Yeah.
So just off the bat, my prediction is that a few people will get blisters on their big toe. Yeah.
Why is that? Is like what causes a blister?
Look, the footwear that is available for these kind of events, sometimes the big toe goes through a bit of turmoil.
I mean, where's the line where comfort has to matter more than fashion? Like, if this is the biggest night of your year and you're walking around on blisters, are the shoes worth it?
I think if Justin Bieber was attending the Brownlow, he would probably wear Crocs.
Yeah, as he should. I think that would be the right process. So you think blisters on feet? That's quite an unusual prediction. Usually we're predicting the winners and who's might be best dressed. But you've gone blisters on feet. Is there anything else?
One more very important prediction, and I think this is something that is deeply relatable to many people, many humans, in fact, because it is just part of existing.
Not relatable to dogs and cats?
The line,
for all you zebras out there watching, tune out now. This might not be for you. This is for the humans.
I'm trying to set up my sentences like you do. Like, I feel like you go round and round and round, and then you're like, and here's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to be like you. So my prediction is, I feel like we need some dramatic, like, my prediction for the Brownlow medal is that the line for the girls' toilets will be long.
Wow.
You will have to wait. If there's a little break in between vote counting, you best believe people are going to be getting up 10 seconds before the break's actually on, so they can get to the
Now that is a big call.
And when you're kitted out, you're wearing a beautiful outfit. Sometimes there's a lot of zippers keeping. I was going to say zebras.
There's a lot of zebras in the way of the girls' toilets, keeping a guard.
There are a lot of zippers. There's a lot of material, and sometimes you need help for. And I think that's a really beautiful camaraderie about the ladies' toilets, is that people are just there to help each other. You're like, do you mind just getting this zipper? No worries. Let me do that for you. It's great. It's a beautiful feeling.
That is lovely. But without trying to be disrespectful in any way, shape or form, it is one reason why I'm grateful to be a bloke, because we just walk straight in, do our business, get out. And if it is a bit busy, we can share the same toilet. We can, there's no issues with us lads. There's never a line. I've never once had to line up to relieve myself at an event, so that was fantastic.
So tell me, what are your predictions?
Well, I've gone a little bit more predictable than your toilet antics and your blisters. But I think that the Brownlow medalist. Now this is a thrill, going to be one of the more thrilling counts. A lot of the time when you rock up to the Brownlow, there's a clear favourite who's going to win. But last year was an unbelievable count. My man Patrick Cripps won. This year is going to be just as unbelievable because Nick Dacos is only in his second year. And it's unheard of to be a contender in your second year. Like Chris Judd won it in his third, but to be one of the best players in the competition in your second year is nuts. And everyone's talking like he's going to be the greatest footballer of all time. But at about round 18, with 4 rounds to go or so, he did an injury that basically ruled him out for the rest of the season. Well, did rule him out for the rest of the home and away season. So then he was a clear leader, got injured, and then all the other players like Marcus Bontempelli, Zach Butters have caught up. So now it's sort of an even line. No one knows who's going to win. So it'll be a thrilling count because Nick Dacos is going to go out to a red-hot lead, get injured, and it's going to be like, who's going to catch him? And they're going to catch up, and they don't know. No one has been able to predict properly if they're going to catch him or if Nick Dacos is just going to hold on.
So you're rooting for him?
I am actually rooting for... So Nick Dacos plays for Collingwood, which is like the biggest club in the land, with Carlton. I'm a Carlton supporter, and they're the biggest rivals.
I made that mistake the other week. I accidentally said the wrong team.
Yes. They are arch rivals of the highest order. So typically, I'm not meant to support Nick Dacos, but one thing about Aussie rules football is that there isn't an undisputed GOAT. Like, you know how in boxing, they say Muhammad Ali, in golf, it's Tiger Woods, you have Michael Phelps in the swimming, Usain Bolt in the running, Lionel Messi in the soccer. In nearly every sport, there is an undisputed greatest of all time. In footy, we don't have one. Some people say it's Lee Matthews, some people say it's Wayne Carey, whatever. We don't have one. So if Nick Dacos wins a Brownlow at 19, wins a few more, then it would be pretty cool to have a player that stands atop by himself as the greatest player of all time. But in saying that...
That is epic.
Or maybe he's 20. It's his second year, so he could be 20. But no, I don't want Nick Dacos to win because he don't play for Collingwood. So I'll be backing in my man, Zach Butters from the Port Adelaide Football Club. Zach Butters, we love you, mate. Just make sure that you're on the toast before they put the scrambled eggs on in the cafe, and then we'll be all right. Any other Brownlow tips for me, Star?
Well, you are going to be on the tools when you're there. You're going to be doing some interviewing on the carpet. And this is actually not a silly piece of advice. I actually feel like I can give you proper advice because I too have done interviewing on carpets before. Which
is going to be vital advice for me because, to be honest, Star, I don't typically get nervous. I'm not a nervous man about anything. But this is by far and away the biggest, aside from the size, obviously, the biggest sort of operation I'll be dealing with because this is millions of people around the country. Channel 7, red carpet interviewing the biggest names in football. It's 3 30-second interviews, so it's not like I'm on there the whole time. But this is by far and away the most amount of people I'll be speaking in front of. So what tips can you give me to make sure I don't crumble in the moment where I need to stay together most?
You will not crumble. If I've learned anything about you over doing this show is that you are absolutely going to kill it. And you should be so proud of yourself. Like, don't downplay your achievements. This is a big deal.
I appreciate that.
And I know we've spoken a lot about channeling that nervous energy and turning it into something great, which I know you will be able to do. And just remember, it doesn't matter, whoever you're speaking to, these might be really big sports personalities that you look up to, and yes, you are on TV and you're doing all this stuff, but it's just a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
You are going into this prepared. You are going to do your prep work. You're going to go over your lines and read through everything. And remember to always take a break as well. You can just take a breath and go, if you need to compose yourself, it's fine.
Yeah.
Have a few little things that ground you and kind of bring you back to where you are. Like, hey, my feet are planted firmly on the ground. This is going to sound really weird, but sometimes I tense my butt cheeks if I get nervous.
Do you?
Yeah.
Tense your butt cheeks? Well, I suppose that's pretty standard. The butt clench is a typically nervous thing, I suppose. But does that help?
No, just like one cheek at a time. Right, left,
like you're playing the bongos. I think that I want to go in an opposite direction where I want my butt to be as relaxed as possible. If my butt's tight, I'm going to put so much effort into relaxing it, Why would I want to go bongo bum mode before I interview some of the biggest?
Because it brings the awareness back to your body. Like, I don't know, people have like a little tap that they do with their fingers, and you ever see me on the carpet, I'm just going do, 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 do.
Yeah. I think I might just go the more conventional deep breath. But if that fails, I will go bongo bums.
Well, I will be watching, so I'll see.
No, very excited. One of the great tips that I did get is you don't have to be funny, but try and be fun.
Yep.
So don't put too much pressure on yourself to be a comedian, but just have a fun time. And if you're having fun, they're having fun. The people watching will be having fun as well. So
it will also go so quickly as well. It's like we build up to these moments so much, and then it actually happens. You're like, wow, that is literally seconds in the scheme of my life.
I cannot wait for it. I've been thinking about it a bit, and it's pure excitement more than it is nerves. I just can't wait to get up there. And what's most fun for me is that anyone that I've ever crossed paths with before really happened to be in the world of football. And this isn't something that I'm going to announce beforehand, aside from on here, but, you know, a lot of my friends don't watch this. So I haven't really told anyone. So I deliberately do that as well because I want all the boys at the Brownlow Footy Club to be watching the Brownlow, and out of nowhere, my head pops up on the TV. And they go, what the hell? What idiot has hired Rog to do these interviews? So, no, very excited. Your advice is very much appreciated.
Even the little butt dance?
Yeah, little butt dance. I'll keep it in mind. So I'll take the butt dance into the Brownlow, and hopefully I'll hold my own on Channel 7. And obviously next week's couldn't be more exciting week. It's grand final week for the AFL, and it'll also be the week after I host my Brownlow interviews. So come back for the slice and you can check in and see how we went and see if I became a viral meme for all the wrong reasons or got pats on the back for all the right reasons.
Hopefully you don't stack it. That's always my goal. Don't fall over.
I am a clumsy guy, but if I fall over while standing still doing interviews, then that would really be something out of the ordinary. And also, Star, make sure you keep an eye out on the AFLPLAY socials, because once I knock out the Channel 7 interviews, so long as I've still got myself all together, I'll be making plenty of content for the slice as well, so you can get a bit of a behind-the-glimpse look of what it's like to be at the Brownlow red carpet.
We love BTS content.
Yes. What's that?
Behind the scenes.
Oh, I thought that was a Korean pop band.
It is, but it also means behind the scenes. What is it? BTS Army. Oh, yeah. I cannot do that. That is hard. We are clearly dressed to the nines today.
What does that mean?
I don't actually know.
I know that it is a saying, dressed to the nines, but what is the nines?
Why is it not the tens?
I know, dressed to
the tens.
Well, let's roll with that from now on, and we can change the course of history.
We are dressed to the tens,
today.
Trademarked by The Slice, by AFLPLAY, Rog and Starr. When was the last time you got this dress? I know you went to the Brownlow and everything like that, but is there any event in life that's coming to mind for when you're going to really turn it up?
I love getting suited up when I go to the races. I'm a big Melbourne Cup carnival man. Go every year. Derby Day, Oaks Day, Melbourne Cup. Absolutely love it. Obviously, I went to the Brownlow last year. Aside from that, never really the type to suit up. But one of the first times I suited up, Star, was probably the first time actually, was my year 10 formal.
Oh, throwback.
The formals. What a historic period that is in a young man or woman's life.
Okay, tell me if you had a similar experience to me. I think that this is the typical Aussie year 10 formal prees. So everybody arrives at someone's house.
Yeah.
You bring a corsage for your date.
What is a corsage? Oh, no, I didn't do that.
You didn't do a corsage?
What, is that the flower?
Yeah.
Nah.
Did other people do it?
Nah, well, maybe our school was too public. I don't know.
I went to a public school too.
Yeah, ours were maybe even more public.
Okay, corsage, no corsage. You get your pics, right? You get your awkward group photo, then your individual pitch. And then your transport arrives.
Limo.
Hummer, of course. Yeah.
Nah, I didn't go the Hummer. We just went did we go the Hummer?
You got to go a Hummer for year 10 formal.
I actually think that the standard limo has a bit more class about it than the Hummer.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon. Backtracking though, before we even rock up and we do the corsage and we do the Hummer, how did you go about getting asked or asking a date?
I think I took my boyfriend, my year 10 boyfriend.
Oh, see, this is unfair. I didn't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Still haven't.
Still working on it 25 years later.
Yeah.
So how did you ask your formal date?
So I went with sort of a best friend mode. Her name was Lily. She was someone that I was really close friends with in primary school, which was a big deal. Like in primary school, there weren't that, I don't know if it's different now, but there weren't that many close guy and girl best mates. But she was someone that I was good friends with. We went into high school. We sort of drifted. We were in different classes, went into different groups, drifted. Got to year 10 though. I thought, you know who I'll hit up? I'll hit up Lily. We're best friends in primary school. Hit her up. She said, yep, I'd love to. Fantastic. But I made a dire mistake that ruined my chances of ever finding love at my year 10 formal. It was.
Did you do the worm on the dance floor?
Well, I did that, but that wasn't what ruined the chances. No. We rock up to Prees. We get in the limo. We're heading there. Lily's next to me. Fantastic. It's a freezing cold night in Melbourne. Random winter's night. We pull up at a park that's about, 500 meters away from where the venue is. We're walking towards the venue. She's quite clearly cold. She's just in the dress, but I'm freezing as well, so I'm just in my jacket. I'm walking along. And Alex Caldwell, who was a tall, blonde, athletic bombshell of a bloke, one that just everyone loves Caldy. Absolute legend of a bloke.
Bit of a hottie.
To this day, everyone loves Alex Caldwell, and you just can't dislike the man. And he was the one who said to Lily, "You look cold. Do you want my jacket?" And she go, "I'd love that." And I went, "You idiot, Rog. Why didn't you think of that?" So she had Alex, and I was walking next to her like an idiot thinking I should have probably done that. But at the same time, it's the middle of winter, Lily. Put a jacket on.
Mate, that's poor form from you, though.
Yeah, it was. But to be honest, I can't defend myself there. Should have had a little bit more awareness.
So I took my high school boyfriend to my year 10 formal, but here was my issue. He went to actually every single formal that I had, but for every single formal, I was always taller than him because I'm quite tall. Like, I don't think I'm a crazy height, but I think so. Yeah, I'm definitely above average for height. So in all the photos, it just looks so funny, the height difference between us.
Yeah, that would be.
Not that there's anything wrong with dating someone who is shorter than you.
Do you know how tall you are in feet?
I think 5'9". What are you?
Well, I'm like 5'8", but I'm 5'10" on Tinder. So it depends. It depends what we're going off there.
What do people put in their Tinder bios? 6 foot, if that even matters.
Yeah. It does matter, unfortunately. No, that was my formal nightmare story. And then it got to the year 12 formal. And this is when I was like, did you do a formal in year 12 as well?
I did, and it was on my 18th birthday as well.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty iconic. Yeah, main character, you know.
Proper celebration. Now, I rocked up to my year 12 formal, but I was not in a good way because earlier in that day, it was the last period of school ever, and I was meant to have like psychology or something like that, media maybe.
You were studying that in high school?
Yeah.
Is that what they do in Melbourne?
I was no good at it. I did English, business management, psychology, media and drama, and I bombed it in business and psychology and smashed it at media and drama and English.
Of course you did.
Anyway, it was the last period of school ever, and we had the formal the night of our last ever period of school, and I was meant to be doing psychology, but all my friends were doing PE, and they go, "Rog, skip psychology, don't go to that, mate. Why would you bother? It's the last period. Come to PE, we're playing trampoline dodgeball." And I'm like, last period of school ever. Of course I'm going to do trampoline dodgeball. But I was probably one of those kids that took PE way too seriously. So it was the Olympics for me, like really wanted to flex my muscle there. And I didn't have much muscle to flex either. But I jump up off this trampoline. It was a raised trampoline off the ground. I have the dodgeball cocked, and I'm looking, I throw it at the target, and it was a little square trampoline thing, and as I come down, my foot half lands on the trampoline, which tilts it, and then all my force cannons into the ground, and I broke my ankle, tendons, ligaments. I didn't break it completely, but I fractured the bone, tendons and ligaments snapped. So
on the day of formal.
And I'm like, oh no, this is not good. But typical me and typical dad, he goes, "Mate, it's you should see this." I'll actually send Fennella the picture to put up. It was the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. It looked like you should chop my foot off. It was mental. And Dad said, "Nah, you'll be right, mate. You've just sprained it." So I went and got a walking stick. So I rocked up to my year 12 formal in a walking stick. But this was the same year where at the Brownlow, Nathan Fife, who I think won in that year from Fremantle, also had a leg injury, so rocked up with a walking stick. So I felt like Fifey walking through, felt like an absolute champion. And by the end of the night, I was so excited. The walking stick was gone, and I was doing the worm on the dance floor.
Can we just go back to I'm sorry that happened to you and your ankle, but can we just go back to the trampoline? Because did you just have trampolines in your school?
No, it sounds a lot better than what it is. It's not like trampolines built into like the basketball court. It's like these bang average little like platforms. Like, you know what you do box jumps on?
Oh, like a tiny little one.
Tiny little one that has like a little spring in it.
I was picturing like, you know, at caravan parks how they have the jumping pillows. I was like, you had that at your school?
No, I never really stayed at the caravan parks. Not familiar.
It's like a giant pillow on the ground that is also a trampoline.
Yeah, there you go.
It's really fun. That's what I was picturing, but it was just a tiny little trampoline.
So at both my formals, I had a bit of a nightmare. A broken ankle and a lost potential love of my life. because she was a bit cold and I didn't realise.
Did you give someone your jacket at year 12 formal?
Never. I was cold.
Rog, you'll never learn. Rog, I feel like the advice we're going to give today is going to be really good because we look really good. Do we see? Is there like a correlation between that?
I think, do you reckon you're more likely to take advice off a guy in a suit and a girl dressed as beautifully as you are in the dress, or maybe someone a bit more casual, a bit more relatable?
Like us last week.
Yeah.
We're just like
yeah. What do you
in
reckon?
our normal clothes. Well, I feel like we're giving like a bit of authority today, you know? We're like, we're fancy. Yeah, we wear this all the time.
Yeah, but there's part of me thinking, if you're in a suit, what are you hiding? Like, why do you need to look so professional for? If you're casual, it's like you're just another guy like me that's nice and friendly.
You're hiding your socks.
No, there are no socks to be worn. I don't own a single pair of long socks.
Are you not wearing socks?
No, I've got invisible socks.
Oh, okay.
But it is a handy point. We've got a text in with asking for a bit of advice.
Yes.
From yours truly. What have we got this week?
Okay, so this is from Caleb. Hey, Starr and Rog, I've got something on my mind that's been bothering me a lot lately. Me and my mates all tried out for the first division footy team at school at the start of the season. The thing is, every single one of them made it onto the team and I didn't.
Relatable content.
Oh. It's been a real hit to my confidence and I can't help but feel like I'm not good enough. I know I should be happy for my friends because they've worked hard, but I can't help but feel left out and self-conscious about not measuring up. Oh, Caleb. The season is nearly over now, but I want to make sure I'm in the first division next year. Any advice for me to make the team?
Caleb, I've been in your boat many times before, mate. And the reality of it is someone's got to miss out. It's, as you get older, you probably realise it more. And it's not that it's unfair. It's just the reality of the situation. They've only got 22 spots in the team. Someone has to miss. Unfortunately, it's you. But once that happens, you have two options. You can either get real down in the dumps and sad about it, which is understandable and okay, but that's not going to help you improve. It's not going to get you into the team next year. You're best off using the pain that you're feeling now, the frustration, the understandable anger, and turn that into fuel to rage on through the preseason, through the off-season. Anytime you're contemplating, do I go for a run? Do I go for the kick of the footy? Remember how you felt when you didn't get picked in the team. Use that as a motivation to get the workout done, and that'll drive you to get better, improve.
Absolutely. I think it shows, like, it does really suck that you didn't make the first team. However, there's so much room for improvement for you now. And like Rog said, like, use that to fuel you in the next couple of months. And, you might not have made first, but I'm sure you're in another team. So you still get the opportunity to be a part of it and to, slay on the field, as we say in my world.
and make sure that you still support your mates.
Yeah.
It's really important that you're there supporting them. If you are feeling a bit upset, which is understandable, you don't want to let that energy impact them either. So I reckon you'll feel better about yourself if you go there, you support them, you help them win, you improve yourself, and hopefully you get into the team next year. But on a personal level, it's been a while since I've been in that situation, like in a high school where only a certain amount of people make the team. But last year was my last year of footy, and I played every game during the season. And then it got to finals, and I got dropped for the first final. And that hurt. Like, it had been 4 or 5 years since we qualified for finals. I played every game the whole way through. I never got dropped in those 4 years. And then it got to the one game where you want to play, and I got told that I wasn't in. I got dropped. And my coach, Borgie, who surprised us on the show an episode or two ago, he gave me the bad news, and it was shattering. But I rocked up to training the next 2 weeks, the next 2 training sessions. I was still carried the same energy as I did as if I was picked. Still got the boys up and about because I felt like that was my role. And the next week for the preliminary final, I actually got picked in the team and I played the best game that I played all year. So there's a bit of resilience to be had there. You'll teach yourself a lot of lessons if you hang in, and you'll reap the rewards later on. And when you do finally make the team, you'll feel all the much better about yourself, and it'll taste so much sweeter for the bit of adversity you're going through now.
Oh, mate, that was perfect. I've got nothing to add to that. Great advice, Rog.
On you, Caleb. Guys, it's starting to draw to a little bit of a conclusion, Star, the Brownlow special. But before we do, I've got 3 votes to give out.
Yes.
3 votes, Brownlow medal style. It'll give you a little bit of a taster. We're not even bothering with the 1 or 2 voter because the 3 voter was that special. You might have seen this on the news.
3 votes to Gryffindor.
3... Now you're
Sorry.
speaking a different language. What the hell was that? Right, was that Star Wars?
I think I said boats instead of boats.
Three
as well.
three boats for Gryffindor. That'll help you overcome, whoever's you're going up against in Game of Thrones or whatever it might be. Well, I'll do this in the style of the Brownlow
Yes,
medal
please,
to
please.
really get us in the spirit.
Gotta
Like,
get in the zone.
I'm going to go full Gillan McLaughlin mode.
I'm ready.
3 votes. Albany Sharks. Have you heard about the Albany Sharks?
I haven't. Please tell me.
This is a team that was dubbed the worst football side in the country,
Oh.
possibly ever. 12 years, Star. 12 years with 2 wins. Talk about resilience to just keep on fighting through that. Most clubs would fold after something like that. Not the Albany Sharks. They kept swimming in the waters. They were the danger, and their perseverance in swimming in the deep waters, the Albany Sharks, has resulted in the ultimate success because you wouldn't believe it. They've won their first premiership.
Oh, that is amazing.
From 2 games in 12 years to premiers, that's one of the all-time fairy tales.
Up the Albany Sharks.
Disney, Pixar, whoever it may be, jump on, because never mind whatever Lion King, Little Mermaid remix you're doing next. Jump on board the Albany Sharks. That is one that we will never forget.
All right, Rog, it's time to bring it in. And I think, this bring it in feels a little bit more special because, again, we just address to the 10s, to the 9s.
Absolutely. I wish that our couches are slightly more together. So when we bring it in, we could go full huddle mode and maybe bring the listeners in as well. But that's okay. We can pretend. We can go the air huddle.
Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss an episode, and also make sure you follow us on AFLPLAY across all socials. If you are looking for a date, so is Rog, so please let us know.
Absolutely, and we'll be serving you a slice of play every week right here on The Slice every Wednesday. Let's go!
Bye!
The Slice, presented by AFLPLAY, is hosted by Star MCG and Connor Rogers.
The Slice is recorded and produced at Amplify Studios, situated on Gadigal land. We pay our respects to the traditional owners of the land and waters in which we record on.